Hello student, I once again welcome you in this online audio lecture. Student, in previous video we have completed the first poem of our syllabus, and as you know that poem was written by Lord Byron and the name of that poem was She Walked in Beauty. Today we are going to study another poem of our syllabus, and the name of that poem is The Lost Leader. As you can see on your mobile screen, it is written by Robert Browning. So this poet belonged to the subsequent age, that means to say in earlier poem we saw that the poet Lord Byron was belonged to the Romantic age. Now this Robert Browning belonged to the subsequent age, that means the Victorian age. That age comes after the Romantic age. Just as earlier I told you that the English literature is divided in number of ages and number of period. Earlier I also explained you that there were a number of ages from Chaucerian age to modern and postmodern and many other ages. So this Robert Browning belonged to the Victorian age, which comes after the Romantic age. Now, before going to study his poem The Lost Leader, we must have some brief informations about the poet, for what he is famous, what are the speciality, what characteristic he possessed, and for what he known for. Robert Browning is a famous Victorian poet, and he is famous for three things. The first thing for which he is famous is the dramatic monologue. The second thing for which he is the famous is his optimistic philosophy, and the third thing for which he is famous is his love poems. This is not a love poem which we are going to study today. This is in fact a political leader's this is in fact a political poem where the poet is trying to attack on his rival. In fact, we can say that his mate, but later on become the rival because because that leader joined the next political party or opposite party, we can say. So before going to study this poem, we must know what these three qualities Robert Browning possesses. The first I said dramatic monologue. So what is this dramatic monologue? In fact, the poem which we are going to study is also a dramatic monologue. So what is the dramatic monologue? As you can see on your mobile screen, that this is the dramatic monologue. So what the dramatic monologue? How we define the dramatic monologue? For which poem we can say the dramatic monologue? There are two words, as you can see, dramatic and monologue. Dramatic. Have you heard the word drama? Yes, you all know about the drama. Drama is a kind of the play where number of the character play their role. In fact, drama means is not the views and opinions of the author. It may be the views and opinion of someone else, and all that views and all that story is presented in front of you by number of character. That's why it is called the drama. And here we have the dramatic, means the characteristic of the drama. That means the views and thoughts doesn't belong. The views and thoughts do not belong to the author. It is in fact a well That means hidden thought of author. Maybe it is hidden thought of author or thoughts of author, but author doesn't say that it's my view, it's my opinion, though he sometimes expresses his own views and opinions in hidden manner. That's why it is called the dramatic. And second word is the monologue. Monologue means a speech which is given by a single person. The mono, that means the single, one person's. So in this way we can say dramatic monologue is a speech of single person, or it is not belong to the poet himself or herself. Again, it is called the dramatic because there is a possibility that the speech is addressed to a one person or the two person or more than two persons. That's why it is called the dramatic monologue. Sometimes we get the views of other audience, but it is not expressed in direct manner. It is expressed in the manner of in fact we can say it is expressed in the process of answering their questions. So this is the dramatic monologue. Here we are going to study one poem that is also a dramatic monologue. Here the views and opinions of one particular character is expressed, and that views and opinions are addressed to another persons. So in this way we are going to study his prominent poem, the dramatic monologue, in the form of the Lost Leader. Again, earlier I said that the Robert Browning is famous for his philosophy, optimistic philosophy, not the pessimistic. Do you know the difference between optimism and pessimism? Yes, optimism means to have the hope, to have the positive thinking, to think positively and to feel positively, and says that all will happen good with us. That is the optimism. And pessimism is the opposite to optimism, to have the negative thinkings and to say negative words about other and feel also negatively. That is the pessimism. In Marathi we can say optimism म्हणजे आशावाद आणि pessimism म्हणजे निराशावाद. So here we have the optimistic philosophy. Browning is famous for his philosophy, particularly optimistic philosophy. He even thinks that even the worst things can give us the positive energy. There are a number of examples where he has given his optimistic philosophy. Even he considered that even a totally failure person in this world can get the higher place in another world when he died. So he doesn't think pessimistically about that person. There are a number of examples. In some poems I learned that he says, I am quoting his line, learn, never count the pang. That means you have to learn, you have to study hard, and I got the inspiration from his line also. You don't have to count your pang, your troubles. You have to learn, then you will get the success. Don't think about the panic things, don't consider about the bad situations, and don't consider about the trouble which you are getting for learning. This is the optimism. Even in one poem, I think the name of that poem, the Rabi Ben Isra or something else, I don't clearly remember. But where he says that if you want to earn 100 rupees, I am just giving the gist of that line. If you want to learn 100 rupees, then you have to aim for 1,000 rupees. Then why he says such things? He says that if you want to earn and if you aim only for 100 rupees, then there is a possibility that there is a possibility in order to reach the boundary of 100, there is a possibility that you will fail to reach the boundary. You will not get the 100 rupees because your desire is limited. You want to earn only 100 rupees, but if you aim for 1,000 rupees, you will try hard and you may also overcome the boundary of 100 and go beyond the 100. Though you will not reach the boundary of 1,000, but you will get more than 100. That is the optimism, that is the philosophy. That's you want to teach us. And when you go through his poems, you will learn that how optimistic poet this Robert Browning is. Again, the